Hi, this is Tom Olszewski with Team Olszewski, and once again I want to thank you for watching today's video about the real numbers behind should you rent or buy a home. Whether you are buying your first or your 10th home, I have a number of helpful video tips to understand today's home buying process. If you need to sell first before buying, I also have a number of video tips that, if followed, will maximize your current home value before selling, getting you the most possible when you sell. These videos can be found on my YouTube channel or video blog, TemeculaRealEstateJournal.com. So let's get into today's subject of should I keep on renting or buy a home? If you're going to keep on renting, this is what's going to happen to your monthly housing expense. And this was just updated, a chart showing the median asking rent since 1988. That's the chart behind me. And we can see that all the way to the right, all the way to the top, it's escalating rents. As a matter of fact, CoreLogic just recently, within the last month, did a study looking at the percent change from 2005 to 2018 in rents and in mortgage payments. And since 2005, compared to the end of 2018, because they had to look at the full year, the rent index was up 36%, while the typical mortgage payment was actually down 4%. And you know, we're going to have people that say, how could this be? With prices up, how can the typical mortgage payment be down 4%? And we put it right there on the slide for you. Why the difference? It's mainly because the mortgage rates back in December 2005 were significantly higher, averaging 6.3% for a fixed 30-year loan, compared with 4.6% in December of 2018, and it's even lower now. So when people ask us, should they buy or should they rent? Here's a perfect example of why. If they're going to stay alive for 30 years, they're going to have a housing expense. And do they want it to be a rent expense or do they want it to be a mortgage expense? And some people will say, well, I'd love to buy, but it's too expensive. So let's take a look really right now at whether or not that whole affordability crisis is the crisis some people are making it out to be. Number one, here is going back all the way as far as the numbers go, the Housing Affordability Index, 1990 to today. The higher the index, this is from National Association of Realtors, the higher the index, the more affordable housing was. So people like to say, well, you know, it's less affordable now than it was 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago, we were in the middle of a housing crash and interest rates dropped to 3% or close to 3%. So yes, compared to when houses were selling for 20, 30, 40% discount and interest rates were even lower than they are now. Yeah, it's more affordable than at that time. But if we go all the way back from 1990 all the way up to 2008, it's more affordable now than it was any of those years. And that's what we have to remind renters that are looking at buying a home. As a matter of fact, the percentage of median income needed to purchase a medium-priced home historically from 1985 to 2000, not worrying about the boom and the bust historically, was about 21.2% of a person's income went to their housing expense if they owned a home. So in 2006, obviously that number jumped pretty dramatically up to 25.4% because interest rates were still high and prices were through the roof. Today that number is 15.9%. It's less than historic norms from 1985 to 2000, and that number is dropping. National Association of Realtors looks at it every single month. Watch the payment as a percentage of a person's income, and we went all the way back to June on this to show you since June that number pretty much has dropped every month except for once, where in November when it ticked up a little bit because interest rates went up a bit. But it's dropping again. It's less expensive today as a percentage of your income than it was last June. So be aware of that. Those are real numbers. But most importantly, we have to understand that we, again, have to take the money out of it sometimes. Here's a quote from Frederick Peters that appeared in Forbes on Forbes Online. As homeowners discover living in an owned home feels different from living in a rented home. It's not just that an owner can personalize the space, it touches a chord even more fundamental than that. Home ownership enhances the longing for self-determination at the heart of the American dream. First-time homeowners, young or old, radiate not only pride, but also a sense of arrival, a sense of being where they belong. It cannot be duplicated by owning a 99-year lease. There's something different about home ownership, and that's the reason it's part of the American dream. And it's deep. It's not just about the financial benefits. So that is it for now. Take a look at our helpful seller and buyer tips on the video blog. I hope these videos will be helpful. If you need to look at the financial implications of buying in your situation, as always with a mortgage, every situation is different. So I always defer to our lending partners to give you specifics for your situation. If you have been thinking about buying or selling and would like more information or would like to speak with one of our lending partners, please feel free to reach out to me directly at 951-506-5744 or email at tom@teamolsuski.com. There will be a slide at the end of this video on ways to contact us. For now, this is Tom Olszewski with Team Olszewski and Coldwell Banker signing out. Make it a great day.